I really couldn't have made this list
Entertainment.
entertaining.
I think so we can give fight to USA, but yes.
Very few countries do.
Bollywood is doing good.
United States.
Hey guys, Loud Guys. Today we are going to watch 7 things that America does really well. And one of those things might be making warships and like
warships,
army,
and to eat well.
Then
they are like obsessed with food. I guess, huh?
And other things that America does very well is irritate Muslim countries.
That's also point.
Yes, because they are very much irritated by
the anti-Muslims.
No, not proper anti-Muslim, but some like Iraq, Iran. All these Muslim countries have some of the other problems.
Them. I also read some of the comments.
So that is it. And other thing that America does very well is spending money.
Spending money.
They spend a lot.
Useless things or
on everything.
Everything
is very big in America. And what are other things that I think so this man will help us to know. So let's watch this
video.
So I'm going to outline some of them right here, right now, so that you can share this video from now until the end of time. Here are 7 things that the United States of America does really well. Yes,
pizza!
It's a bit of a cliche because
it's very good in India too.
Even back in Britain, we like pizza. Just not as much as we do in America.
Really?
I lived in Britain for 26 years. I've lived in America for 14. And I've probably had 100 times more pizzas since moving here.
Whoa.
And on the whole, America does them really well. I'm sure the Italians won't thank me for saying that. And I'll caveat that by saying I do also love Italian pizza. I just love pizza in general. That's sort of a rule, isn't it?
Indian pizza is best.
Has many different styles. And of course, I live in Chicago, so I am living in the place where one of its most famous pizzas was born. And if I'm in the mood and I haven't eaten in 3 days, a Chicago deep dish pizza is amazing. But, and this is the reason that I don't go out onto the streets of Chicago anymore, I actually prefer the Detroit style. I know, because the thing is with Detroit style, it's like Hufflepuff. You know, everybody thinks they're either Gryffindor or Slytherin, but I'm a contrarian by nature, so I always like to go for the third option. For me, it's not New York style or Chicago, it's Detroit.
Diners.
Yes,
I think so. In that, America is very good.
To include this one. Not many things beat the feeling of waking up on a Sunday morning and making that decision to go to your local diner and have breakfast. For me, there's just a significant amount.
In India, we don't do that.
With an American diner. You know, it's the early morning chatter, it's the pour of the coffee, it's the omelettes and the hash browns, it's the seating booth, it's all of it. I mean, it just makes up for such a great atmosphere. And, you know, we do have, of course, cafeterias and things like that back in Britain, but we don't really have anything that's precisely the same as an American diner, which is sort of a shame because they also remind me of adventure, right? I always think of 2 film characters meeting in secret to plot the overthrow of the villain who's come to annihilate the city. I mean, that's why I go to diners. Streets. This might seem like a weird answer.
Yeah.
Since, of course, we have streets in Britain, and to some extent I miss the streets in Britain.
They are very
to the winding nature of them, and you can very much get lost. Just
and greenery and everything in Britain.
Here it feels like you're less likely to do that, and the orderly side of my brain appreciates that. Streets, firstly, of course, are laid out usually in blocks, so you have kind of rectangular streets. This is very much in line with my observations of America's fascination with rectangles. But it's not just that, right? It's the things that are on the street. Those fire hydrants that you see in the movies, it turns out they're real. And the house numbers seem to go on forever. It almost seemed peculiar back in Britain if the house number went into 4 digits. I don't know that I've had an American address that's had fewer than 3. Are there any Americans that live at, number 4 Washington Street? Oh, and streets as well. They're all named after presidents or places in America or types
very
of tree.
good.
And I just love that continuity. I love saying things like, I'll meet you on the corner of Maplewood and Jefferson in 5. And there are always people walking their dogs on these streets. And they're usually super polite and they'll look you in the eye and say, good morning. It's afternoon. I really couldn't have made this list.
Entertainment. I think so we can give fight to USA, but yes.
Very few countries do.
Bollywood is doing good.
United States. Firstly, I mean, America produces so much entertainment.
They are very
about music, television, film.
Budget
and in
also.
each of those, there's just such a vast array of output. Now, don't get me wrong, some of it's crap. But when they get it right, which historically has been often, you end up with The Wizard of Oz, you end up with Star Wars, you end up with the Marvel franchise, Quantum Leap. I could go on. Wrestling.
Theme parks.
Including this on
yes, I think so. USA is very good.
Theme parks deserve their own entry. That was a pun on entering a theme park. Now, over the years, Britain has had its fair share of theme parks, from Alton Towers to Flamingo Land to the M25, but America just has more of them. And of course, I think everybody knows about Disneyland and Disney World and Universal Studios and all of that. But after moving here, I realised, much to my intense happiness, that theme parks aren't just reserved for Florida and California, but can actually be found in many states. I think the first one I went to was Kings Island, just outside of Cincinnati. And I also went to Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana, and yes, that's a real place. And the strange thing is, I didn't go on many of the roller coasters because I have this overwhelming feeling that we're going to crash.
Same. High five.
Get out of theme parks. And to me, it's the atmosphere. It's the balloons. It's the movie scores that play throughout the entire place. It's the hot summer days, you know, it's the interns dressed in a Yogi Bear costume. Come to think of it, that must be hell in July. But for the rest of us, it's great to meet Yogi and friends. People who watch this channel regularly know that I absolutely love
in India
parks.
we have very
Partly
small
for the
parks.
opposite reason that I
like
love theme parks, which now that I've said that out loud,
grass.
I've just realised that theme parks are themselves parks. Anyway, the point is, it's the relative absence of people that makes them so enjoyable. This was even the case for me when I lived in Britain, where we have a boatload of parks, some of which have boats. But just like with theme parks, America has way more of them. And some of them are absolutely massive. There's one in Alaska that is larger than Northern Ireland and Wales combined. In fact, back in the day, I did a video about US national parks that absolutely dwarf their UK equivalents.
Wow.
I'll link to that at the end of this video. And there's sort of a hierarchy of parks here as well. You've got the sort of local municipal parks, you've got state park, you've got national parks. Spoiled for choice because the United States is made up of a very diverse terrain. So you've got the hot springs at Yellowstone National Park, you've got the tree-laden mountains of Great Smoky Mountains National Park, you've got the Grand Canyon, and just 100 million other places. That is an exaggeration. There's a lot of them.
Road
trip. Fly to these places, although not directly.
I think so. India is also very good at that.
Let's be honest. Does that beat a good old American road trip? I don't think so. I love the open road in the US, and you know, some of that comes from the movie.
Wow.
Again, it's just like with the diner. It feels like you're living the dream while also escaping the feds. And you just stick on Billy Joel or something cool, you wind down the window and you just hit the gas, man. Not the gas man. You hit the gas, comma, man. It's amazing. And that open road, of course, really is open and long, with some highways spanning the entire country. And you see things on these journeys that you don't see from the air, and you certainly wouldn't see in Britain.
Beautiful,
like quirky roadside attractions, especially when you're on a historic route, or the terrain that I just spoke about. And taking road trips in Britain was never quite the same thing, because firstly, the country is nowhere near as big. And secondly, in the UK, you can get to most towns and cities by train, which is equally adventurous. But you can't really do that for the most part in America, because there isn't high-speed rail. That's an example of something it doesn't do too well. So I'm going to embrace one of the things that it does, and that's road trips.
I agree to most of these things that they have shown. Yes, I think so. These are the things that America does really, really well. But I think so. There are one or two things that I don't agree. Like as far as India is concerned, one would be road trips.
Road trips, actually.
Why? Because yes, roads are way bigger in America, and you see massive highways. We are also getting those highways nowadays, but yes, most of the time you don't get these big highways. But the main essence of road trip is like you get new things after.
New things. Also, we have varieties of cultures and cities.
Yes.
That's why we can explore a lot of things.
Yes. So the moment you cross 100 kilometers, there is a new language, new people
village,
meeting you.
New tradition.
So I think so that is the main essence of India. Like there would be like in India, like we are talking English, and like for me, my main language is Hindi.
Yeah.
So if I go down south, so there will be people who will not even talk in Hindi. Then if I go 100 kilometers more, then they will not even talk in the language that is the other language. So there are so many.
Hindi is our national language.
But still not everybody speaks it. Only
but they totally they bit of understand it.
No,
they don't
in
understand.
South India they do not. Like in Tamil Nadu, many places
But we have the reaction channel, so.
Yeah, we have, but like it is some audience who understands it. It's not everyone who understands it.
With pizza thing, I would like to agree on this, because I think the best pizzas they have compared to
in India also we have good pizzas, but I have not tried US pizza, so we don't know. And also they are mostly based off meat and non-veg, so I might not even try that. All the other things that he was talking about really are like the parks one. I love that.
Love. They have
Big,
huge
massive
parks
parks.
and with a lot of trees, and we have that little rectangular sort of parks.
And for India, the parks are normally children parks.
Children parks.
They will make one seesaw, they'll make one slides, and they will be like, okay, now children can enjoy. That's it. Or either it will be an old age park. There is nothing like proper parks, like
huge,
come
to
have
play or
picnics.
to do something.
It might be there, but there are some very rare ones. So yes, so America does those things really well. So what do you think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
Subscribe.
Bye.